Hey, in today's video, I'm going to be reading a post of mine from January 6, 2018. And then I'm going to be using that post to segue into the topic of today's video, the hero's journey. And the post goes a little something like this. If you're a guy and like to think that you're a good guy, and in a crisis or time of need believe you're the kind to rise up and be heroic, etc., then take the time and look over this progression model. Remember, just because you say you're nice and will treat a person well, doesn't mean you actually will. You are not actually heroic or a good person unless you follow all of the steps. There is no skipping or jumping around, and part of the hero's journey involves the way you react to external forces and factors, which you can't manifest on your own. You can't make yourself a hero. You can't make a crisis occur as a chance to prove your mettle. If you're nice to a woman and she doesn't like you back, or want to date, or even talk to you, chances are she isn't a bitch. You're just that depraved, creepy guy no one wants to be around or even look at. You're the kind of guy that wants a pretty lady to walk out into traffic so you can rush up behind her and push her out the way of an oncoming car and save her. Then try to help her up and go for a kiss. Ugh. Pay attention to class. Ladies, this is also for your benefit too. Don't be guilted or made to feel bad for rejecting or not returning some guy's advances on you. Remember, your feelings, love, and company are not earned, nor are you expected to give them away freely. Any guy starts coming off and across as nice at first, but quickly snaps and becomes bitter, spiteful, and vindictive the second you turn them down, is a true villain, a complete degenerate, and the very lowest rung on the ladder of what it actually is to be a man. And that brings us to the hero's journey. And what the hero's journey is it's a literary narrative storytelling device. And the coinage of the phrase, or the creation of the concept of what the hero's journey is, was created by Joseph Campbell. And when he began writing a book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, in 1949, in which Campbell had recognized a pattern, a series of patterns among myths and legends and tall tales and stories of that time, and he had put those observations together in the book. And later on, in 1992, Chris Vogler coined the specific term, the hero's journey, when he went and condensed Campbell's work and he summarized it, and he basically, not translated, but he rewrote the concepts and the idea into a 7-page memento that was used for writers, producers and directors. And it was kind of like an educational or an instruction manual on how to. And granted, believe me, you can tell a good story. You can tell a good story that does not follow the hero's journey. You can have a good TV show and a good video game that doesn't follow the hero's journey. However, the hero's journey is a staple because it works. And you can also deviate from the formula exactly. You don't have to follow every single step in every single order. But if there's a recipe, for a good souffle, there's a recipe for a good story. And when you follow the hero's journey, you're following the recipe to a good story. Okay, alrighty, so what is this? What is the hero's journey? Oh boy. There's many different demographics you can look at, many different graphs, many different pictures, interpretations. And for all the steps, there's 3 basic stages to the whole journey. And it's the departure, the initiation, and the return. And like this graph that's on screen right now as it displays, the hero character starts off in the known world, and the departure involves them going through the initial steps, the call to adventure, the refusal to the call to adventure, gaining aid from a mentor, learning what the threats are, who's in peril, and then, preparing for the journey. I shall go on this adventure. The initiation is after the hero has crossed that initial threshold. They are no longer in the world of the familiar. They have now transversed into the unknown. They are in the supernatural. Their journey has begun, and they must learn to navigate this unfamiliar world, possibly physical, treacherous terrain, unknown wildlife, customs and social cultures of, new people that must be learned and adhered to. And then the final step is the return, which is the hero, having obtained the elixir or the boon, be it a physical treasure or simply wisdom, what they have obtained through their journey, what their trials and tribulations have earned them. They return back to the world of the known, a better person. They have brought the elixir with them, and they are ready to share the boons with their fellow man. And that's basically the crux of what so many different stories are. And it starts off, you have a reluctant hero. They're in the world of the normal. Everything is, as it should be, as they expect it to be. And then there's the call to adventure. And this could be a fairy landing on your windowsill, and help, we need you. The Gumball King is attacking, and you're the only one that can help. Or you're on a subway train, and you hear voices, and you see ghostly images around you, except they're not there to haunt you. They're asking for help. You're the only ones that can see them. You're the only ones that can hear them. They need your help. It's the call to adventure. Or maybe you get a literal phone call, and it's from your best friend, and all you hear is a scream and the sound of a car driving off. That is your call to adventure. And then, not every case, but in many cases, you have the refusal. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Speaking directly to the graph that I have, because I have another graph that I put together. I want to share and speak on that. But speaking directly on the graph that's on my screen, you have the call to adventure. The hero gains supernatural aid, be it physical talismans, weapons, armor. It could be information. They're mentored by somebody. They are taught magic. They are taught the ways of the world. They gain new allies to help them on the journey. They make initial enemies. They learn what the threats are. And then they come across the threshold, the gate between the known world and the unknown world. And I'm going to be switching videos.